What is up, Soulmates? It is raining outside, vibes. And do you want your vocals to sound like this?
It's the street lights from the taxi. So many styles. Petty people think it's taxing who we are.
In this video, I'm going to be walking through how I mixed the vocals in Garden Star, which is one of my favorite songs from my collab EP with Zale, Adventure. You should check it out. And I've actually made a video a while ago about this melody effect that I added to the song, which is just my favorite part of this song.
Yeah, I just wanna know.
So I'm going to be walking through.
It's the street lights from the taxi. Highs, lows, please don't let go. Looking straight ahead, said I get that from my mama. Never tried to kiss a lot of drama.
The first thing that I'm going to be saying is that I doubled most of this song. So what that means is that I have a vocal on the left right here.
It's the street lights from the taxi.
And then I pair that with a vocal on the right.
It's the street lights from the taxi.
And that creates a really cool sounding vocal effect. So the first thing that I did to these vocals, I'm going to solo this vocal right here, and I'm going to move it to the middle. And then we're just going to walk through the vocal mix. So the first thing we got is Melodyne, and this is tuning my vocals.
It's the street lights from the taxi.
This chain is actually called Dominic because that's actually not how you spell his name. There we go. After I remade The Kiss of Venus and mixed my vocals like that, I threw this template into this song, and I just moved from there on this mix. So the first thing we got is this low cut, taking out frequencies below 100 hertz. We don't need these frequencies. Honestly, I could have gone a little bit further, but this is where I cut it right here. And then we've got these two compressors. You gotta have two compressors on your vocals. The more compressors, the merrier, is what they say. That's what I've heard them say around town. You know, if you're not hearing that, then you are most likely in the wrong town. The first compressor we got is this 76. The second one is this 2A. And again, if you want a more in-depth video, check out my other vocal mixing videos. But this one's a more harsher compression. This one's a more softer compression.
It's the street lights from the taxi. So many styles.
And honestly, probably could have compressed the vocals a little bit more, but this is what the mix was. And then my scanning. I don't do heavy vocal scanning with the frequencies anymore. I think that it can really thin out your vocals, but as you can see, we've got a lot of bells.
It's the street lights from the taxi. So many styles.
I didn't like that frequency, and I took it down. And that's how I did that. Are you going to delete it? There we go. So very harsh scanning. Again, don't really recommend that. So the next thing that I did is I threw in an overdrive. This is different from most of my mixes. Usually I like to throw in effects that add a tone to the sound, effects that add like kind of a sauce to the sound after I get the main vocal mixed down, but this overdrive was pretty soon. So if I boost the dry wet, it's going to be a very distorted vocal.
It's the street lights from the taxi.
And I liked that tone, but we only want 4%.
It's the street lights from the taxi.
So you can hear like a slight top end distortion on that. And then we're de-essing the vocals. The S's were a little bit sharp. And then I'm boosting some of the highs. And now we get into the sauce. And this is what I'm throwing in parallel compression. Again, check out one of my videos walking a little bit more in depth on the vocals, but this is just adding some more beef.
It's the street lights from the taxi. So many styles.
And they sound a lot more compressed. And then next up is reverb. And I'm throwing 18% reverb on these vocals. So they're very reverby. And then I throw a chorus on the vocals. 30%. That's a lot of chorus. So the reverb.
It's the street lights from the taxi. So many styles.
Lots of reverb, adding a lot of space. And then this chorus.
It's the street lights from the taxi. So many
just making it a lot smoother. And then I'm taking out some frequencies around 300 and throwing in another compressor.
It's the street lights from the taxis.
Pretty pretty solid compression right there. And then I'm de-essing the vocals again. And that is the vocal mix for these vocals. So let's move it 35 to the left.
It's the street lights from the taxi, so many stars. Petty people think it's taxing.
So, chorus vocals. I'm gonna mute Zale over here. Zale, I don't wanna hear you. Get out of here. Zale, just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Alright? I apologize. I wanna hear your vocals, but let's walk through my vocals first. This is my channel. Chorus vocals. I am not throwing in the overdrive. As you can see, there's no overdrive over here. And I'm not throwing in the reverb and chorus right here. So I'm going to mute this, mute this, mute this, and mute this, and mute this.
She tell me it's the highs, lows. Please don't let go.
A really compressed vocal right there. And no reverb. So what I'm going to be throwing in over here is delay. We will get to that soon. But right here we've got some reverb. How much? 9%. So less reverb than the verse.
She tell me it's the highs, low.
And then we're throwing in this sidechain. And this sidechain is sidechaining the vocals to this kick up here. This is my ghost kick. I'm throwing this kick in on every beat for the sidechain only. So if it was on... But we don't want it in the mix, we just want it to be sidechaining these vocals. So once we throw in this glue compressor, this knob is going to be going up on every beat when this kick is active. So it adds like a thumping sound to the vocals. And now I'm going to be cutting out a lot of these mids.
She tell me it's the highs, lows.
And then throwing in a wider at 0%. So I'm guessing it's automated. Let's press A. Yep. So the wider is being boosted right here. Yeah. That sounds dope. So automating the wider when I want it to be coming in. And that is the mix for the vocals. So let's do the doubling.
She tell me it's the highs, lows.
And that sidechain really like groups these vocals together. It gives it a pulsing sound, and it really makes these two vocals sound cohesive. And I'm also throwing in that sidechain to Zale's vocals. That way my vocals and Zale's vocals sound cohesive together. So even though we have different voices and we recorded on different mics, the vocals just sound very together. Harmonious. Cohesive. Good. So here are my vocals with Zale's vocals. Zale's vocals, I just threw in some reverb and then boosted the highs. And this is what we got for the chorus. So the song now breaks down and I just have vocals coming in left and right. I have this cool vocal that Zale recorded. I absolutely love this vocal. Really introduces the breakdown. And then we introduce that melody that, again, you should check out that video where I walk through how I mix that. And this is what the breakdown sounds like for the vocals.
I just wanna know. Yeah, I just wanna know. I just wanna know.
And now we are on the second verse, vocals.
Looking straight ahead, said I get that from my mama. Never try to cancel out the drama.
So the vocal mix for this verse is the same as this chorus mix, basically. But we are throwing in some chorus, 19%. And then also what we're doing is if you come over to this audio effect rack, I've got delay, and the delay is if we press A, go over to the delay. The delay is active for this cool little melody thing. But once we get into the verse, I have no more delay.
Looking straight ahead, said I get that.
But on this main chain right here, we have overdrive. And that is going to be the distortion that you hear on these vocals. We've got 15% overdrive. So let's check out the automation. Let's go over to the overdrive. There we go. And yeah, so when we have the melody right here, The distortion is at 0%, but once we come over to the verse, I boost it up to 15.
Looking straight ahead, said I get that from my mama. Never tried to kiss a lot of drama.
I love that, and on the group of the whole vocals, these effects aren't really doing anything, but we do have some compression.
Lights from the taxi, so many styles. Petty people think it's taxi.
And then we have this Pro Q3. Wow. That is a lot of scanning. I didn't know I was doing that much scanning on the whole group of the vocals, but I did. Still sounds good. As I said, these vocals aren't mixed like super crystal clear. They're very compressed and just squashed in general, but it adds to the aesthetic of the song. It kind of gives the vocals their own character. So again, vocal mixing, you can do basically whatever you want. Go ahead. That is the vocal mix. If you want to check out this song, you should. It is one of my favorite songs I've ever made, and Zale is a part of it, the absolute GOAT. And Adventure 2 is going to be coming up soon. Not really soon, but soon, as in it will be coming up in the future. If you want to check out my new single, Lost Art, out on all platforms. Again, if you want a mix and master, check it out on my store. I also have songwriting. And have a beautiful, wonderful day. Keep making music. Soulmates for life. Peace.